What is going on, everybody? It is your boy SAJ, and you know this guy, right? My brother from another mother. We've obviously been off for a couple of days and trying to get back into the swing of things. But all that being said, we're back, right? Dealing with some illnesses, some work conflicts, all that good stuff. But nothing is more important than talking some football. And so, just like a bad disease, we're back and we're ready for some action. BD, how the hell you been, man?
Oh, been good, been good. Thinking of a studio to come from today. I don't think we've done anything in this vein before. So I'm gonna come at you from the Magic 105.3 studios.
Wow, that's a good one. I don't have anything nearly that clever. I think what I would have to say, if anything, would be one you probably wouldn't even remember. Do you remember Hot KTFM?
Oh, well, heck yeah.
Okay, so then that would be my studio if we're going to do that.
Yeah.
Um, so there you go. Um, so we're chatting and we're having fun and we're talking nonsense to each other and whatever. But I really think we probably need to get to the reason why we're here, and that is to interview some really special guests. Let's start out with the first one, which is probably one of the most important people in our lives and in our fandom. Um, it is none other than our very own Brahma Babe. And here she is in all of her glory.
Hi guys,
So,
how are you?
Hello. How are you?
how are
Long time no
you?
see.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I miss you guys.
I know.
We
So
miss you. So, there's a reason besides the fact that we absolutely love your company and you are our football sister. There's another reason why we brought you in, and that's so we could properly interview our guest of honor tonight. Because really, I mean, what do BD and I know about being athletic and doing things to support the team besides drinking a lot of beer and yelling at people,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
So
you talk about that's not supporting the team. I mean, that's that's how I've been supporting
that's
teams
supporting
my greater adult life.
that's supporting the economy, that's for sure. Because
Well,
I
that
mean,
too.
that's what we do. But what we wanted to do is make sure that our next guest got a quality interview. And so we wanted to bring in a subject matter expert because obviously, Renee, you were a professional cheerleader.
Mhm.
You know the life, you know the routine, you know the whole deal.
Yeah.
But our next guest is somebody who's extremely important to the Toros community because she
Mhm.
is the head cheerleading coach of the Toros and was a six shooter with the Gunslingers. And her accolades go on and on and on. I don't want to take up all the time. I want to let her have an opportunity to share her own glory with everybody. But without further ado, let me introduce you to Kaylie Lightfoot of the San Antonio Toros.
Hi
Welcome to
guys.
Texans Talking Football. Okay, so Kaylie, obviously I'm a really high energy guy, so you have to forgive me. I always try and make sure our guests get super hyped up when they come in and whatever. Talk to us. Obviously, you are the head cheerleading coach of the San Antonio Toros. You have experience, being with the gunslingers and the six shooters and all this good stuff and whatever. But it had to start somewhere. So, talk to us. Where did your cheerleading career start?
Yes, of course. I came from a family of basketball players, and it wasn't sparkly enough. It wasn't girly enough. So I needed something a little more me. And so I signed myself up for cheerleading, and from that moment I fell in love. And so I started with All Stars, and then I eventually went to high school and I cheered at Judson High School. And then after that, I cheered in college for a little bit. Yes, go
Something like that.
Rockets.
Yeah.
And then I went to the Spurs Hype Squad, and from there I found the San Antonio Gunslingers and cheered with the six shooters. And then now I'm here, and so I also coach, and so cheers just consumed my life in the best way ever.
So you said you coach, obviously not just you know head cheerleader with the Toros, head cheerleader coach with the Toros and all that. You happen to coach at a certain school. What school would that be?
I do. I work at Roosevelt High School, and so I'm their head cheer coach. So I wear a lot of navy and red right now.
Excellent. For those that know me, everybody knows I'm a TR alum, graduated class of 93, barely graduated class of 93. But I got out of there as quickly as I could and never looked back. Oh, here she is already. The Sleepy Brahma, aka my wonderful better half, Sabrina. Love you, hon. She always jumps in to have some positive comment for us. But Roosevelt, Judson, huge rivalry in the sense that Roosevelt had a huge rivalry with Judson. Judson had a huge rivalry with everybody because back in those days, you're the best, got to, get beaten by the best. And very few could actually step up and make that challenge happen. But I love the fact that you're a Northeast Side kid and you're blowing it up. You're making a name for yourself. So you said you did some cheer with the Spurs, with the Gunslingers, now here with the Toros. That being the case, how does that help support the team? We want to make sure that we talk about how this ties into your athletic performances, how that goes into support the team and hype the crowd up and stuff like that. Like how does that all go together?
Yeah, I feel like I've gotten to see it at a bunch of different levels, a bunch of different crowd sizes. And so getting to encompass like what it feels like to perform in front of 25 people versus thousands of people. And so we always want to bring as much energy as we can. Like even if not every seat is filled, we want to have enough energy to fill every seat. And so we always want to make a big impact. And I feel like that has helped me the most. Like if we're going to perform, we're going to perform big, we're going to perform loud. And that's regardless of where we're performing, who we're performing to. Our performance is important.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't even, because my internet's a little bit glitchy, so I didn't catch what you were saying, Renee.
Oh, I was just going to add on to what, that is so important, as well as the ambassadorship and the amount of presence that your cheer squads or your dance teams have in these leagues. I mean, it's not only about being on that field that day. You have your personal appearances, you have your before game interactions and meet and greets and things like that. So your cheer team or your hype squads or any of these young ladies and men at times that come out and do this, that is an ambassadorship too as well for your team. There's just extra people, as we've seen with the UFL. You can't always get your players out in the community. So you get your girls or your guys out there. They're putting in the hours, the time, and all too. So definitely.
So see, Renee's got fans everywhere. That's kind of what you look forward to when you start interacting with some of these crowds and everything. So Renee, you brought up a great point about ambassadorship. So I want to make sure I fully understand that. What you're saying is that it's more than just hyping up the crowd on game day. It's about being a face of the organization and
Yes.
doing like what you've done, right? Good work in the name of the team. Stuff out in the community. I know, like, for example, Renee, you're a huge animal rights advocate. Absolutely love the animals to the point where you don't even eat real food. You eat plants and stuff like that. I don't understand any of that nonsense, but whatever. No judgment here, except a whole bunch of judgment. It's okay.
It's okay.
Anyways, so going out and doing things like that, and Kaylie, this is going to be a question for both of you guys, right? It's important to go out and do things to represent the team. How connected do you think that makes you to the community, right? To get out there and spread the word and do something that you're positive and passionate about.
Yeah, I feel like those spirit teams, those cheer teams, those are really the bridge to the community. They're usually the first ones out, and they're like, we try to build that bond where we're on the same level, like we're still rooting for the same team, and so as long as we can get there together, like there's no stopping what we have going on. And so it really is a presence just all around. And so if we can go to something, we're gonna go to something and get our faces out there and interact and mingle with as many people as we can, because the more we do, the more fans we get, so it's a bonus.
Yeah, it definitely adds to it, and the amount of your different fandom, whether it's the young girls that are dancing and cheering, and some of the teams. I believe the Gunslingers have done this when I was Kaylee. It's been a long time since I've been on the field cheering, but we do like cheerleading events or camps, cheerleading camps for the little girls, where when I cheered in arena football, we'd come in, we'd teach the girls a halftime routine, and they would perform, and they'd have like a big sister that was on the cheerleading squad, so we would have our little kitten, and then they'd have us, and we'd perform together at halftime. And not only does that get the kids on the field and performing in front of a crowd and their parents excited, that has their parents bringing people to the game, their aunts and uncles coming to the game. It also gets those gals involved for the next season. When are we going to have this? So you're not only outreaching to the community on behalf of the football team, you're also outreaching to the community and athletes or young girls that are wanting to do this. And that ultimately does pull in different fandom as well, because there may be somebody who's never been to a game that comes into a game because their niece or nephew is performing at halftime. So you're engaging for the team, but you're also engaging for the community in different aspects, and in this case being cheerleading or dance.
So,
Very cool.
so Kaylee, what made you decide to kind of choose the Toros? I know you said you've done stuff for the Gunslingers, and you said you were doing the Spurs Hype Squad stuff. Kind of what drew you to the Toros?
Yeah, I actually had made the decision to completely cut off my cheer experience. I was done cheering, and I put the pom poms away. And I had my baby girl, and so I was enjoying the mom life. And so this opportunity kind of found me, really, and from there I was like, there's no way I can say no to this. Like, if I can get the pom poms back in some shape or form, I will. And so it was a no-brainer to come and experience this as a coach now. I was super excited when I got the phone call to see if I wanted to do an interview, and I talked about it for days and days and days, and I couldn't sit down. And so it was honestly one of the best choices I've made so far.
Awesome.
I think it's almost like a journey for us, because I started out, again, a little bit older here, but I started out in Pop Warner, cheered through junior high, high school, college, professionally. And I think, once I got to a point, even when I was about right out of high school, I started coaching junior high. That's what we called it back then, and high school, and then I coached All Stars down in Florida. So Florida Elite, I coached up in Maryland with Maryland Twisters at one time, and things like that. So it's kind of like a journey we take as a cheerleader, because I did the same thing. I went into the coaching, and it's just something that you love, and we bring so much as coaches, whether it's a football coach or a cheerleading coach or a dance team coach or whatever. You're not only coaching the skills, you're also coaching, self-esteem. You're coaching even how to engage with people outside of, because with these gals that are on these teams, you've got to be able to conduct yourself in a manner when you're being spoken to by the media, or potentially, doing things at elementary school. So it's not only about dancing around on the field. These young ladies, and they are putting in the time and effort and energy to promote themselves in a positive manner as well. And that's a lot that people don't see. They don't see the amount of time that they're practicing choreography, and then how early they're at the games, practicing, or going to the gym. I mean, it's a total package. It really is.
So Sleepy Brahma asked, what does a typical game day preparation look like for you? Obviously, the football players, they have their routines. Some guys work out, some guys meditate, some guys do weird rituals like put on, one dirty sock from 7 years ago and one clean sock. What does your game day routine look like for you?
It's a lot of getting ready. The majority of getting ready. But then after that, it's really a lot of rehearsal, practicing, making sure I have it. I know personally, I like to run through the routines with counts, just me alone without the team. So that way I feel confident in the material. And then eating something, making sure I'm fueled, probably some more practice, and then game time. That's usually what happens.
Yeah.
Nice. So, Renee, did
Mhm.
you have any of those crazy game day rituals like, some of the superstitious folks do? Like me, for example, wearing the same jersey, the same hat, the same shorts, the same shoes, all clean, but what were your crazy game day rituals?
I really didn't have any unless we made playoffs. So when we made playoffs, I think it was my second year. I wore my hair a certain way for that game that we made it into the playoffs. And I refused to wear it any other way because I felt like and y'all know me, even with Brahma Baby, how certain things I do. So, I think that was probably the only thing. I always had a Sobe. Do y'all remember Sobe drinks?
Yes, I do.
Be
Yes.
yourself.
I, they were a sponsor, so I always had the coconut sobe before the game. But other than that, our schedule is very much the same. We had to be at the arena 3 hours before game. We did a field run through of our halftime because we performed pregame, halftime, and then we performed on each end zone throughout the whole game. And then every time out, we performed. So the thing about those things, and I'm sure Kaylee, you've gone through this, you have to time it out right because you guys know watching football, especially in arena games, those timeouts are not very long. They may have changed the rules a little bit. I don't know if the girls can go out on timeouts now, but we would run out and we'd have to time our music, time our routine. So our timeouts were like 30-second dances. Our halftime was like a minute and 30 or whatever, so it's not about just practicing the choreography and running out on the field. You've got to know your hash marks. You've got to know your yard lines. When you transition these routines, you have to make sure that they're lined up because believe me, if those lines are off and you go to do a kick line or something like that, it's not going to pan out. So there was a lot of, like Kaylee was saying, a lot of rehearsal time because you don't always get time on the field. When we rehearsed, we were in a studio. So being in a small studio versus a 50-yard field or a 100-yard field is very, very different. Your movements have to be bigger. The person in the 800 section isn't going to see a little movement like this. So you've got to travel and make things bigger. So, there are a lot of things in logistics behind the scenes that that everyday sports fan doesn't always see this, so there is a lot to it.
Nice. So first of all, I'm sure you saw Weston's comment, but he's excited to see how your team is going to shape up. And Sleepy asked a question that I want to get back to, but Weston was saying something about seeing how your team is going to shape up. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there something going on with the San Antonio Matadoros this weekend?
We are having our tryouts this weekend. I'm so super excited for these tryouts. We have a good chunk of people signed up. And so I've been stalking them on social media and they all look amazing. And so I'm super excited to see the talent that we're going to bring. There's tons of talent in San Antonio. And so reeling them in has been such a fun experience. It's not something that I've gotten to experience. And so it was something that was different, but I really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to see everybody.
So, question: Did you get mine and Jay's registration?
Of course I did. Of course.
Okay, yes. Good. All right.
Yes, I had to. Yeah, top of the list.
Okay. You realize we're gonna pull a hammy before we even walk out, and I don't mean our hamstring. I mean, we're gonna pull out like ham sandwiches and probably just sit down and eat.
Bring enough for
do.
everybody. We gotta share.
Well, I don't know we're gonna have enough for everybody. Well, I don't know if we're gonna have enough for us. So,
Kaylee, do you know? Have you guys put a number on how many you're going to take?
Not technically.
Okay.
We're going to definitely look at our talent, see what we have,
Mhm.
see as we dance in our groups, are you working with the people around you? Are you not meshing with the
Right.
people around you? Do we need to try you in another group maybe and see if that works a little better? What skills do you have? What skills do you not have? And so it'd be a big like puzzle that day of figuring everything out. So
Yeah.
we're really going to like focus and try to build that team there really and see just what everybody has to bring to the table.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Sleepy, of course, this is an appropriate question. How do you stay so motivated with those long hours that you're putting in? And we say it jokingly, right? She Sleepy Brahma, whatever. In all fairness, she was, or she still is, but she was a nurse at the time at an emergency room, right? And nurses have crazy hours, and she worked like 70 hours a week. Like it was insane. So of course she's going to be sleeping. But how do you stay motivated? How do you keep going with the craziness that is you being the head cheerleading coach?
I love the thrill of game days. I think game days are just exciting as a whole. I enjoy watching football, so I'm entertained at the games. I enjoy watching the cheerleaders, so there's not a downtime of the game. It's cheer or it's football, so either way, I'm having fun, and it's just a high energy place to be. And so there's no downtime for you to like feel like, okay, man, I'm bored. Like I need to find something to do. There's always something happening. And so keeping your eyes out for those big moments, those big hits, those like special performances, you have to watch. You have to watch. You got to pay attention.
Excellent. So, and now I have to ask this, because I've told you guys before, Renee definitely knows. She's met my kids, all of them. It sounds so bad, all of my kids, but there's a lot of them. So whatever. Anyways, I'm a girl dad, right? And so I want to make sure that the women out there understand that football is not just for guys. Like this is for everybody, for the entire family. I've got my 9-year-old going to the games with us, right? And she absolutely loves the excitement and the crowd and everything else. She doesn't so much like some of the words that BD and I say, but we try and keep it somewhat clean. But so you said you came from a basketball family. When did you pick up the football bug, and like how deep does that knowledge go? I mean, are you understanding like the formations and the positions and the different routes and stuff like that? Because I know some people get kind of intimidated by that. Some men might think, yeah, there's no way women are getting that involved with football. And I specifically know a couple that are. So talk to us about that. Like, how deep does your passion for this game go?
It definitely started more in high school. Like I got introduced into that game day feel. And from there I was like, oh, I'm hooked. Like I love a game day. I love football. And so that was kind of just like the watching part of it. And as I got older, I started to know not plays, not formations. I know positions a little bit. Don't quiz me. But
Okay.
I know some. I know what they do. I know a couple of the rules. So I can tell you what's happening and why it happened. And I feel like being a cheer coach, especially in high school, like I have to let my cheerleaders know, hey, we're on offense, so call these cheers, or hey, this just happened, so make sure we're doing this. So I feel like a lot of girls know more football than people think. Football is definitely an all-around sport. There's a lot of girls, especially cheer coaches, who are like, they did this, so now do this. So I feel like I've learned it from cheering, from coaching. Having to call cheers helps you learn those things.
Yes. Well, and that definitely does.
Sabrina herself even said she's learned from going to the games. And thankfully she didn't learn a whole bunch from us because we're bad influences. But
well, I mean, if she listened to us, she'd be learning like fake plays and stuff that we were yelling out.
Yeah.
So
that's true. We're good at teaching people false starts, as we call it.
Yeah.
So, and What is Sports Productions? Good to see you guys. Okay, so we talked about kind of your introduction into football and your passion and everything. I push that again. First of all, I'm a girl dad, and I'm unapologetically a girl dad. I don't care, right? Girls are just as awesome, if not better, than boys are. And I'm not trying to, butter anybody up or anything like that. I love my girls, and I'm glad my God chose me to be a girl dad, because I would have completely ruined a boy out there. I promise you, he would have turned out to be just like me, and that would have been horrible for
Oof.
I got two of
society.
them that are just like me. So I mean, I got a girl that's just like me too. So
Yeah.
there's 3 of them out there.
That's yeah. I've got 5 that are influenced by me, so this world's in a lot of trouble. Anyways, that being the case, it's important for girls to know that this isn't just a boys' club. I mean, especially now with the introduction of like flag football into the Olympics, and the 7-man becoming big, and women's football becoming really big. It's important to know that this is not just a guy's game. And so I want to make sure that folks like you and Renee and all the other women out there are getting that support to let people know, hey, this is an open world, and there's a place for everybody in it. So whether it's cheering, whether it's playing, whether it's coaching, whatever, there's a place for everybody in this game. So now, Sabrina is not actually 80, first of all. But what are you looking for during your tryouts? Is it attitude, skill? Obviously not Sabrina at 80 years old, but really it's her joints that she's blown out, and torn ACLs and rotator cuffs and all these other things. So what are you looking for in the prime candidate?
Am looking for big energy, big personality. It's not so much about skill, because if you can pick up the choreography and you can learn the choreography, then why can't you be on the field? And so I'm not looking for somebody who has like the perfect high kicks, the prettiest turns, the best tumbling. Like, as long as you are a performer and you have big energy, big spirit, big smiles, you have a place on this team. And so you can learn choreography.
We're in.
Yeah.
So nothing crazy. I'm not looking for the technical dancers. I'm looking for the performers. And so if you can perform, there's a spot for you on this team.
That sounds like us.
Excellent.
I mean, no skill, but you know what? We can perform, and we've got energy. So
I was not a dancer, and so coming into this world, I was like, you want me to do what? Like, you want me to turn on my toes? Absolutely not. And so I was just like, I don't know how to do any of this. And so it was definitely like, oh my goodness, like, this is not cheer tryouts. This is a dance team tryouts. And so it was a big adjustment at first. And so I learned to become a performer and not so much a technical dancer, but I learned to like express my energy outwards and make sure my face is big, my emotions are big. And so that's what we need.
Yeah, like Kaylie, I didn't come from a dance background. My first year trying out for NFL, I went to prep clinic, and we were doing pas de bourrée, double turns. Yes. I couldn't tell you it was a pas de bourrée. I look like, I'm hitting perfect L's because sharp motions. Yes. I cheered all my life. So I came out of prep clinic, my first time ever trying out, in tears. I didn't know what a pas de bourrée was. I didn't know what a double pirouette was, split leap. I couldn't tell you. So, yeah, I mean, I was almost turned off by it. Yes. In the beginning, because 100%. It wasn't my cup of tea. And I had several of the girls that had done other teams. I think at that time, a couple of them had done like Orlando Predators and things like that. And they came up and they're like, hey, don't give up, Renee. Just, maybe get in a couple of dance classes to learn the basic technical skills. And I started working on the fluidity, because that's where I was so rigid. And 100%. I was so sharp. So the fluidity of dance, the hit drag and all that. And it took me a while, but it was the cheerleader aspect, like you said, the showmanship, the energy of being able to work a crowd. And that came into play with the dance, because what I found is a lot of the girls that were coming in and dancing, because we were arena football and we were in the end zones, they didn't know football. Yes. So I had to take my dancers and sit down and say, hey, you got to watch where the quarterback's going to throw, or you're going to get, because we're in the end zones,
100%. Yes.
So I'm talking to my dancers, teaching them that. And a lot of my cheerleader girls, the dancers would help us kind of learn the fluidity as far as how to make our jacks, our steps bigger, and how to get from that yard line to the other one without making it. So it's a very different world. So, I mean, for any of the women out there that are looking to try out that maybe have a cheer background, what Kaylee's saying here is so important. Don't think that you're out of there just because you don't have that cheer background, or if you're a dancer and you don't have that cheer background. I think there's that happy mix that you're going to be able to bring to that team, and it's really exciting to see.
So, pardon me, I'm sorry, choking up there. I did a little coaching for my kids, actually several of them. Tell me if this is a fair statement, because I think, to summarize what you're saying, this is probably a good way to say it. I can teach you skills. I can't teach you heart. I can't teach you drive, right?
100%.
So it sounds to me like what you're looking for is the heart and the drive. You'll teach them the dance steps. You'll teach them the moves, the fluidity, like Renee was saying. But you can't teach them that presence, that showmanship, that big energy, the big emotions on your face, stuff like that. Fair?
100%. I always tell my cheerleaders, like, when you become a cheerleader, like, you're not just the person who puts the uniform on, like, you adopt their lifestyle, you adopt their mottos, like, you adopt their colors. And so coming from Roosevelt or Judson to Roosevelt, I was like, I don't know about blue. I have my red and gray, but I don't know about my blue. But as I started working there, all I was saying was go Rough Riders. And so same thing here. I got hired and I was like, let's go Toros in all my text messages. And so you really have to adapt to the lifestyle of this specific team. And so cheerleading is not just about putting that uniform on and shaking pom-poms. You definitely have to be all the way like bought in. It becomes your life.
It does. It does. I mean, even those things, I mean, BD and Jay, even with Brahma Babe, I mean, it wasn't that I was an affiliation of the league. It wasn't I was affiliation of the team. No one was, I didn't have that official, but there was a presence about it. And even as you guys, I mean, we pick on one another and I say the Fraggle Rock, but it's because for me, that whether it's Brahma Babe uniform, Toros uniform, Syndicate uniform, any of these uniforms, it's still a presence, it's still something. And even though things can get heated and crazy and you're a passionate fan, or cheerleader, or there's still that realm you have to stay in. And I think that's why, even with like Brahma Babe and how I kind of treat that situation, it's because of my years in cheering and putting on a uniform. And like Kaylee said, it's more than just wearing something, it's that whole attitude, it's that whole presence, wanting to take that to the next level of professionalism, even though it's just a fan part of it for me. There's still a presence that I want to bring, because I may not be paid by the league or the teams, but I'm still supporting that team and I'm still associated with it. So the image practice, or the image of it, is very important. And sometimes that can be hard as a young woman or a young person. You have things you want to do, but you have to keep in the back of your mind, you are a face of an organization. And, with Kaylee, I'm sure when she's going through her interviews with the girls and things like that, there's definitely, they're looking for the answers. They're also looking for how you present yourself out in public, because believe me, I don't care what team it is, anybody sees you out doing one simple little thing that they think is wrong, it's going to get back to your coordinator. And not speaking from experience, but just
Of course not. Of course not.
but if you're out in the public and you do something, it gets back to that coordinator or that team very quickly. Very quickly. So, mind your P's and Q's. That's why BD and Jay could never make this team.
Talking. Very true. I'm actually trying to find a picture right now just to show you how deep that level goes of energy and commitment. So while I continue to look for this, not that I want people to see this, so they can see kind of how deep everything goes.
Hey, if this is
right?
a picture of you in a cheerleading outfit, nobody wants to see that.
No, not that deep. Right? All for the love of the game. Coach Stan popped in, said best head coach in San Antonio Toros organization. Love that. Big energy from that guy. Sabrina saying your representation of your team, which you are. We talked about that in the community involvement. Texas sports, it's always about the team, right? And I think we we talked about it a little bit. Well, here, you know what? Let me see if I can share this screen real quick. I want to bring this up, right? This right here is kind of what it's all about. So
Oh.
that's two of my munchkins with the bro and the babe and two of our players from the San Antonio Brahmas, right? Um, and I'm not sure who the people behind them are, but definitely diehard fans. But that's kind of
Yeah.
that team spirit, that energy, that stuff that we're talking about. How
Making me
it
tear up.
transcends, right? Um, Obviously we're gonna have some younger folks. Look, Sabrina already caught it immediately, right?
I gotta turn y'all this way.
But what I'm trying to find the best way, because obviously, right, I've got 5 girls that are going to be going to games with us and everything. You being part of the team, what can we do as the fans to help support you guys when you're out on the field, when you're cheering, when you're doing your stuff? How can we help support you through that endeavor?
It's really just showing up. If you're in the seats, and it helps our game days when we start cheering and everybody else starts cheering, or we are getting ready to go on the field and we hear everybody start cheering. I know personally with me, when I'm on the field, like, it flashes by so fast and I don't remember what I just did. And so
Yeah.
I come back after we like finish and we hit our new pose and we're breathing for a second, and you hear everybody and it makes you feel so super good. And so just having those people in the stands, like, that's the main thing, especially for cheer. Like, we don't cheer to the football players, we cheer for the fans, really.
Mhm.
And so we need those seats filled, we need those people in their seats, and we need them like engaged, we need them watching. And that's easy to do with football. Like, football's engaging, football's the best. And so helping them, like, okay guys, like, that was good, so let's cheer loud for our team, it makes a world of a difference.
Mhm.
It does. And so obviously there's going to be young women out there that we're encouraging to go to the games, get involved in whatever. What would you say to them to help kind of get them engaged and get them involved, right? Obviously, I mean, I showed you one picture of the Munchkins. Let me see if I can grab another one. Obviously, this isn't all just about me showing off my kids, although I'm always going to take that opportunity. But
This one more.
this is just a representative sample of some of what you're going to be kind of interacting with. What would you say to those young ladies to get them engaged with this organization and with this team?
I think definitely what was mentioned earlier, having those clinics to where we bring kids in, they're learning, they're performing on the field with us, that gets them hooked. That one time they come and they come to the game, and after that it's like, Mom, when are we going to the next one?
Yeah.
I want to go see my friends again. And so definitely having those outreaches to where we're reaching out to those little girls, because it's easy to get boys to football games, it's what they like, but it's harder to get those girls. And so we do have to add some sparkly things, some pink things and concessions, so that way they can grab those things. A pink t-shirt goes miles and miles. I'll go if there's a pink t-shirt. And so just making sure, like, not everything's too boyish, like, we do have some girl time, we play some good music at the games. And so we always try to do that with the performances. And so really just making sure that, yes, our outreach is also to women as well, and it's not just catered to men.
Well, I'm going to share one more picture real quick, just because I think this is a good way to kind of transition out of this. But I'd say this is a perfect summary of what it's all about, right? And so Renee can share a little bit on that story, but that's kind of those connections that you're looking for, right? For people not only show up to support the football players and the action on the field, but also to support you guys cheering and all that. Because I'm assuming that you're not just showing up just to cheer, and to go home. You're looking to connect with people and encourage people to get involved, maybe pursue their dreams of cheer, even if they don't think maybe they have the talent, right? So, anyways, Renee, if you want to talk about that, the connection.
I was just gonna say, Jay, I'm gonna let Renee tell the story and then proceed to talk. So you can't tell the story.
I'm gonna let you tell the story. So here's the story.
So basically, the little guy that I was holding his hand, his name is Tanner. My husband and I went to a Jacksonville Jaguars game in Cleveland, Ohio, against the Cleveland Browns. Tanner and his family were 2 rows in front of us, and he was like, he had these little mittens on that didn't have fingers, and he kept turning around. He's like 5 years old. He kept turning around and giving me a high five. And so after we were still losing, many people were leaving from the seats around them. So he's like, come on, come on. So we moved down. We ended up leaving the game, walking out with him and his family, meeting them. Kept in touch. They were in Michigan. So the next year for the UFL, we went to Michigan to play the Michigan Panthers. And I reached out and, told them, hey, we're going to come. If you guys want to go to the game. So we got Tanner a little shirt. Him and his family came and sat with us. He was absolutely not a Michigan Panthers fan. He didn't even want to go to the kids' song because he's like, it's all about the Panthers and I'm a Brahma. And I was like, but it's okay, go check it out. And then when he went, he had fun. But he was hanging out with all of us crazies. He got to meet a lot of the team, the coaches. And this was just a kiddo that I met at a Jaguars game, not even a UFL game. And we keep in contact, send Christmas cards. I went to the playoff game. I got an extra towel from the playoffs that I sent up to him. And he's so cute. He's like, when I make the NFL, you're going to come to the draft when I get picked and you're going to be my best friend. But I didn't go in searching for that to happen as a fan at another, organization. So that, that's those relationships that you form and you bond. And even for the women that are trying out, it's a sisterhood. BD, you guys have played sports, and I'm sure a lot of the guys that you played with, you kind of had that brotherhood. It's the same for us. I still talk to girls that I've cheered with in arena and back in the day. It's I don't want to say it's a soror. It's a sisterhood, and it doesn't go away. And you connect, even though I've never cheered with Kaylie. I know I bat my head over here because I feel it, because I know I've been there. And it's like, regardless of the time era or when you did this, it's a sisterhood. We've all shared in that. We've all, shared in some of the funny things about it and some of the things that you're just like, wow, did I really, but yeah, it is. It's a beautiful sisterhood too. It really is.
Well, and Kaylie definitely knows something about kind of that camaraderie beyond, just the time that you spend with that group. Having been, Judson Rocket yourself, right? That's almost like a cult. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but Rocket Pride is a real thing, right? Toros, obviously, love you. Sabrina's crazy. Texas Sports Production, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Vamos Toros, we'll see you guys soon. And this guy you're going to have to watch out for, by the way.
Lauren!
This is Lauren, one of our connections that we've made from the UFL. He was a big supporter of the Michigan Panthers that unfortunately met an untimely demise, just like the San Antonio Brahmas did.
Mhm.
However, they now have the the Michigan Arrows, and he's supporting that organization. And so he's still a friend of me. And I love how that's all kind of connected. Lauren, thank you so much for stopping by, man. Make sure you get some sleep tonight. You got to get up and face that, negative temperatures up there in Michigan.
Are they still up there? And again, isn't he on like weird time? Isn't it like, I don't know, 1 a.m. for him over there?
It's like 1 a.m. like a week from now somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how. He's like in the future, but yet in the past. I don't know how those time zones work.
I only know normal time. So
yeah. So Let me ask you about this, right? Because this is kind of a very energizing statement from the San Antonio Toros, right? The Matadors are going to be a cheer team to behold. Knowing that there's going to be a really high bar being set, and obviously you're going to be the one that's kind of holding people to that. How does that make you feel? What does that stir up inside of you, knowing that you're going to be representing the pride of San Antonio, and how are you going to achieve that?
I'm so excited to be able to. I feel like a lot of the times, like, you're in the organization, and so you're just going through the motions, and you're never the one to actually do it. And so it makes me super excited. I'm trying to think of all the outside of the box things that we could do to make these things like so amazing. And so I am so excited for the challenge. Being from just San Antonio in general, I don't take losing very well. I don't take like settling very well. So I definitely I want to be the best. I want my team to be the best. And so to do that, like, I know it's a lot of work, but having the love for cheer just in general, having the love for the girls that I'm going to have, I want them to be the best. And so we're going to have to work hard regardless. And so you might as well work hard and be the best. So have both.
I mean, you're going to be doing the work anyway. So, do the work to be the best. I mean, that's it. It's easy, but it's so, it's kind of profound,
Okay. I was going to ask something and totally got sidetracked because I was trying to find another picture to go with it. Go figure, right?
I'm just absolutely shocked at you getting sidetracked at something. Just throwing that out there.
It's
Right?
amazing how often that seems to happen, and how I still manage to figure out how to get back on track, right?
Yeah.
So talk to us about, obviously, we mentioned that we've got the clinic coming up this weekend, the open tryouts, all that. Talk to us a little bit more about that. Give us some details. Where's it at? What time? What do people need to bring? BD and I obviously we need to bring the icy hot and all that kind of stuff. Walk us through what we can expect this weekend.
So it is going to be Saturday and Sunday, so the 7th and the 8th. It's going to be at Full Out Extreme Cheer. And so this is a cheer gym. It has lots of floor spaces that we can use, lots of break rooms. And so it really is a great place for us to be. They also have concession stands. So that also helps.
Perfect.
Lots of water, lots of Gatorade, chips, everything.
You have nachos?
I don't think so.
I'm out.
They have chips. Bring cheese. And so they're letting us use the mat space. And so the first day we're going to go, it's 3 hours. So it's from 5 to 8 both days in the evening. So that way we can get some more people to come in. I know people have things to do, but usually not at nighttime. So come in, learn that first day. It'll be a lot of learning. We're going to learn how the dance is going to be. Right now it's looking like 1 minute and 30 seconds. And so they're going to come, they're going to learn the dance. They're going to learn all the choreography. We'll stretch, we'll warm up, we'll get used to each other. We'll have a time to sit down and talk about everything we need to. That first day, they're also going to fill out a lot of paperwork. Mm-hmm. They have to, unfortunately. And they're really going to wear anything that they feel comfortable in, hair and makeup styled however they like. And then when they come in for that second day, it's a little more serious. And so they don't have any paperwork to fill out, but they'll come in a more matching 2-piece set. Their hair and makeup are game day ready. And so that day we're going to come in, we're going to warm up, we're going to get our bodies ready for that day. And then we're going to review the choreography, and then we're going to start with interviews. And so they have to be able to speak well. They have to be able to be confident in what they're saying, what they're producing with their answers. And then they're going to take a little breather, and then they're going to come back and they're going to show us the routine. And so we have a 7 judges on our panel. And so it'll be a lot. I have judges that are going to look at technical skills. I have judges that are going to look at performance-based. And so my judges are looking for different things. And so if you're good at one thing and not the other, doesn't count you out totally. So lots of stuff in those 2 days.
Kaylie, do you just one thing that I thought about too, for the ladies trying out, I know you're in a cheer gym. Are you going to be on dance floor or mat? So would they
will be on mats. But I've tested it out with dance shoes and with regular shoes, and so all shoes work. Okay. And so it's not something that you're going to need. You do have to wear shoes though. Shoes for sure. I would say just like a pair of workout shoes would be best. You're going to be on your feet for a long time, and dance shoes aren't the most comfortable, and neither are cheer shoes. So if you have a pair of Nikes, a pair of Adidas, I would say throw those on. Those would probably be best, but it is a dead floor that we'd be on, so there's no like extra bounciness to it.
Okay. Because I was thinking about that when you were talking. I was like, I wonder if she wants, jazz sneakers versus athletic, because turning on a mat, yeah.
Yes, no, I tested it. It works with all shoes, but the most comfortable were regular sneakers.
Yeah. BD and Jay are probably thinking, what? What?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how I'm even going to get makeup done, because there's nothing that's going to
I
fix
think your
this.
game day
I'm trying to figure out like
Come
what
as you
game day
are, come as
ready
you are.
is for me. Kind of how I want my hair styled.
Yes. Yeah, let's not us be there for that. That we don't want to scare everybody else off.
Now you see why, boys, it takes me so long to get ready for games. See? Now you know.
In all fairness, we have seen that.
Oh yeah,
In
as many
person.
road trips as we've had. Yeah, well, we know.
Yes.
Getting ready for trails is an all-day affair. It's an all-day thing.
And it's an all-day affair for Renee to get ready for the game, not even just to be at the game. And then there's always inevitably.
It's outside. It's hot. You have to make it last. It has to last the entire time.
Yes.
Oh yeah. And I was going to say, inevitably, there's always something that goes wrong. Some kind of malfunction. Hair clip doesn't hold. Horns fall off. Thankfully, we haven't had any like major wardrobe malfunctions or anything like that with Renee. Although we were prepared for that too, just in case.
Everything she needs in her bag.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I would think with her being a professional cheerleader, she would have to be prepared for something to happen, right? Yeah. Although I do wish that Renee would have had something in her kit to help one of our fellow fans out with his wardrobe malfunction when he had one. Alas, that was not the case, and he got some extra ventilation, if you will, and we'll just leave it at that. So
there was no helping that.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Okay. So absolutely love Jen's energy here. She is just an absolute firecracker. So every time I see one of her comments, I get a little jazzed. You'll have to forgive me. We're obviously, everybody knows I'm on board. I'm the one that's pushing this thing with all my might, trying to get everybody sold on this, because this is such a revolutionary business idea and revolutionary idea from a sports perspective and everything, with the continental shift and all that. But why the San Antonio Toros? Why not like the syndicate, or the OGs of the league, like the Ohio Valley Ironmen or something like that? Why did you pick the San Antonio Toros?
Going back to earlier, San Antonio doesn't lose. And so I feel like everything, especially here, is so passionate. And I would say like the fans are passionate, the players are passionate, the coaches are passionate. And so it's a different meaning. We have fans here, and they're more like family. I feel like any sporting event I've ever gone to, you're going to sit by random strangers, and at the end of the night, you're hugging them goodbye. And so we really do build that family aspect with the sports that we're playing. And so I haven't found that anywhere else. I haven't seen that anywhere else besides San Antonio. And so it was a no-brainer to be here in San Antonio.
Yeah, there's definitely something about this community here. We talk about it to everybody who's never had the chance to come down here. This is probably the biggest small town in the world you're ever going to find. Oh, yeah. Right? We're a town of over 2.5 million people. We've got, I don't know how many, miles of highway incorporated into San Antonio and everything. And yet, me having grown up on the northeast side, I can go all the way over to the west side and I'll run into somebody I know. Or I'll go down onto to like South Park Mall, and I'm gonna run into people, right? There's just something about that is so much fun, that you run into somebody that you went to high school with or that you worked with or, whatever. And everybody, for the most part, I mean, there's a couple of people that probably wouldn't greet me with a hug. They might have some 4-letter words for me. Big surprise. But for the most part, it's always just such a friendly vibe here. Everybody just loves everybody. Well,
yeah, for sure.
Except for certain football teams that come in and visit us that Brian and I greet. Because
this is true. I mean, we make friends, invite us to hang out in the parking lot after the game. It's just stuff like that.
Friend-ish. We'll put it that way. Okay. So let's look forward a little bit. Okay. Because we know the opening weekend is the end of May, right? You've got your team established. You've got everything ready to go. You're getting ready to play under the bright lights at UIW, which is the Tom and whatever his wife's name is, Benson Field. How excited are you going to be for that opening weekend?
I am so excited right now, so I can only imagine how much more it grows. I'm talking about it every chance I get. I'm like, guys, don't forget. And so everywhere I'm going, I'm talking about it. It's literally, it's consumed my life. And I'm so overly excited for it. I'm trying to figure out what I want to wear right now currently. So I'm overly excited.
See, you guys see where it comes from. I'm telling you, I hear it. And BD's shaking his head too, because you will be like this, Kaylie, for all of your life. You will be like this. You never go into something like this halfway in. It's 150 in or nothing at all, and it'll follow you through your fandom even when you stop coaching and coordinating and things like that. It's always going to be in your heart, because I can't seem to get rid of it myself. It's either here or it's nothing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, totally.
So now I have to ask some insider information. I'm not going to ask specific that, you reveal too terribly much, but have the uniforms been picked yet?
They have.
Okay, good.
They're nothing like anything any other team has. And so obviously team colors, team names, all that work, but it's nothing anybody else has. I made sure.
Nice. And so I want to ask so much more, and I'm not going to, because I'm not going to put you on the spot, and I don't want you to leak too many secrets and get in trouble, because I know Jen would be mad at you, but she would probably beat the crap out of me. And she is a very intense woman, and I'm a little scared of her. So Jen is saying that they're awesome. So I can't hide my excitement about it. I'm jazzed to see what you guys have.
Let's just say lots of sparkle. They'll look great under the lights.
Okay.
Sparkle is a must. Bling, bling, bling.
Nice. Okay. Now, I guess I think we pretty much covered everything. You being a San Antonio native, I have to ask you this, right? Because and we're going to take a shot at Renee's area, because she's up in the Badlands up there. What makes San Antonio so much better than Austin?
The traffic for sure. But it's a little more homey here. I feel like when I go to Austin, I have to dress up a little bit. I have to hold my purse a little tighter. Austin's great. It's great for a trip. San Antonio's great to live.
Exactly. And so BD and I are old as dirt, and we can tell you that Austin has always just kind of been that way, that it's fun to go and visit, but you don't want to live there.
No, not really. It's not really fun to go visit anymore. I did that in my 20s. I don't need to anymore.
But you also hate Austin because you're an Aggie, and that's the home.
Well, that's true. I mean, I hate the Longhorns.
Right.
But
yeah. So
I don't blame a whole city for that though. I hate Austin
Yeah, you do.
like completely separate of the Longhorns. You know,
Okay. But you still hate Austin because of the Longhorns too. It's a fair statement. So, okay. So we never do anything on time. I let you know that in advance. We're a little bit over, which is perfectly fine. But I want to make sure that we give you an opportunity to share your socials so that people can start following you and seeing updates about the Matadoras. And I feel really bad because I know I'm saying it wrong, so I apologize for my Spanish-speaking friends. But you know, I'm about as vanilla gets, and Duolingo is not helping me at all. So we're just gonna roll with it. Anyways, share your socials here so that people can follow you and get all the latest and greatest.
Yes, we do have a Instagram and a Facebook for the San Antonio Matadoras. It's San Antonio Matadoras, so it makes it pretty easy. That has all the updates for cheer. We'll start getting into game time stuff here pretty soon after we have tryouts. And so once we have tryouts, we're going to start blowing it up on that page, and it'll be nonstop. So I would say make sure you follow it definitely. It'll be a hub for everything for the season, for sure.
awesome.
Excellent. Now, if I remember correctly, there is an event coming up with the team at the end of the month. Are you guys going to be there as well?
Yes, we will.
Excellent.
And I'll be there.
Excellent. Okay. Maybe I can convince these two to go and come and hang out with you, so you don't have
Good
to put up with
barbecue.
just me.
Good barbecue. So I would say go.
That's a touchy subject, right? Because barbecue is such an opinionated thing, right? Texas being the home of the best barbecue on earth, right? Everybody thinks they've got the best barbecue here in Texas. That could start wars. So we stay away from religion, politics, and barbecue on this show. So, and that's
Well,
not
y'all
really
don't
true at
stay
all. 'Cause
away from barbecue.
No, we don't stay away
don't
from
stay away from
barbecue.
barbecue.
We dive right into barbecue.
yes. But okay, so super excited about it. Right here it is. Thank you, Jen. Just like clockwork, ready to go. Of course, Texans Talking Football is going to be there. BD, by the way, mark it on your calendar because you're going to want to be there. It's not exactly kind of on your way home. If you take the long way around,
Bro, that's like 5 minutes from my house. So, you know.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And then you can just walk home from there all full of, beer and barbecue. You'll be fine.
All I need. Yep. Beer and brisket. That's it.
Is there anything else, guys, that we want to ask Miss Kaylie Lightfoot before we cut her loose? Oh, hang on. Right? Some exciting announcements that are going to be coming, and all of the coaches will be there, right? That I'm super excited for. And hopefully in the next couple of days, I can start reaching out and making some connections with those guys. We unfortunately, last week was not a great week with work commitments and me getting sick last week, so I didn't really have a chance to connect to much of anybody. So I'm thankful that you even talked to me at the Sideliners event and we had this set up. But I'm excited for that opportunity to talk to some of the coaches and get them on the show and whatever else. But is there anything else we want to ask Miss Kaylie Lightfoot before we cut her loose for the night? Because she's already given us way more of her time than what she should.
I would love to wish you all the best, my dear. I think you're going to be amazing. I think you have a wonderful energy. You have a wonderful presence about yourself. You're going to bring that to your ladies and your squad. And even though I may not be on the Toro side, I might be on the syndicate side. I'll definitely be supporting you and your girls and your team, because no matter what team it is, we're all cheerleaders at heart when we've done it. And I think you're going to do wonderful things. So all the best to you, my dear, and good luck with your squad, and all the best to your cheerleaders too this season.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. They're so excited, and I'm so excited. So I'm ready to kick the year off. I think it'll be great all year long. Yeah. I know everybody's going to work hard.
Thank you so much for jumping on and spending the last hour plus with us, and great having you on the show. And Renee, once again, joining us again. Thank you for kind of interpreting cheer speak for us.
Well, thank you for having me, you guys. You know it. I love it.
Definitely. Thank you for not letting us ruin what turned out to be a great interview.
Yeah.
Despite us, right?
Well, you guys took me under your wing. I can take you under my wing a little bit. So.
I think it was a mutual thing, and it is really kind of you just tolerating us, right, until you got to know the real us, which, again, I apologize for that as well. Anyways.
Now it's too late. Now it's too late. You're stuck with us, so,
Stuck with us.
It's okay.
All right.
I love it.
So we're going to kick you guys in the back. If you want to sign off, more than welcome to. If you want to hang out for a minute or two, cool. But we do have to kind of close the show down. Oh, by the way, guys, if you're interested, you see this cute little QR code right here. That will take you to our online store, to our Texas Talking Football merchandise. And BD, unless you're ET, that finger ain't going to reach all the way over. Okay. Anyways, see, ET was this character, guys, back in. Never mind. Anyways, that being the case, guys, we're going to kick you off in the back and we're going to sign the show off. Thank you again so much.
I just do
much
that.
love to you guys. Oh, there you go. There you go. All right, Kaylee, see you in a second. Renee, see you in a second. Okay, it's just us now. Okay. Fantastic show. I am so grateful that Renee and Kaylee took the time to come on the show and talk to us about a different aspect of this game, right? Which is the women's perspective, not just from cheering, but from being a fan, understanding the game, different ways to support, all that good stuff. And again, unapologetic. I'm a girl dad of 4 or 5 girls, and I showed some of the pictures. I want to make sure that women understand, that everybody understands that there's a place for everybody here. So kind of like what we did with the team that was here before, I'm reaching out to you guys and saying, give it a chance. One game. Come check out one game, right? The schedule information should be coming out soon. We know where the home stadium is. We know that the uniforms have been picked. We know that there's player signings almost every single day, if not multiple player signings every couple of days. Coaching staff has been picked. We've got some legendary coaches on the squad. Everything is transparent as can be, right? This team's going to be around for a while. So just give it one chance. Come to one game. And I promise you, you're going to get hooked. Okay? So I'll get off my soapbox on that. BD, obviously, we are going to have Cole Collenbeck on the show tomorrow. He's the long snapper for UTSA, who is also the grandson of one of the original San Antonio Toros. So you're definitely not going to want to miss tomorrow's show tomorrow at 8 p.m. I know BD has a prior commitment. If he can jump on, he will. But you're definitely not going to want to miss this interview. So that being the case, BD, you got anything else for me?
No, that is it. I guess, we had the NFL Combine, so it fits. Suck it, Eagles.
Yeah, it's a division rival. You always can say whatever you want.
Suck it, Eagles.
Okay. The NFL Combine was definitely interesting this year. I will say that, just from the fact of hearing quarterbacks setting sub 4.40 runs.
Dude, that was insane. Yeah.
That's unbelievable. That doesn't happen with a quarterback. So anyways, we'll probably talk a little bit more about that in depth sometime next week. But in the meantime, we've got a lot going on. Obviously, we've got an interview next week, or an interview tomorrow. We're trying to set up more with the Toros players and some syndicate and whoever else we can get on. But we also got arena ball that's going to be starting really soon. And some leagues have already started. So you're definitely going to want to make sure that you stay tuned for that. So shout out time, right? First of all, shout out to Alternative Football Network up here and XFL Mike G and everybody else over there. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Shout out to Texas Sports Productions for you guys' support. I know we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with them, so it's much appreciated. Shout out to X-Fan Show and all that they're doing, especially with the Texas Syndicate and supporting the league. Also want to give a shout out to Pro Arena Talk. We haven't really talked about them a whole terribly much in recent times, but they're always there to provide us with information about arena. So thank you guys for that. And of course, we want to give a shout out to you guys and all of your support, right? All the fans absolutely love you. Could not do this without you. And it wouldn't be the same without you guys. So thank you guys for all of your support. BD, you got anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, guys.
Appreciate
Catch you
everyone.
tomorrow.
And yeah, have a good one.
All right. Take care. We'll see you guys soon.
See you.